Okay, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? The people who are joining online, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I don't have mic over here. So the microphone is not working here. I'm in classroom. Unfortunately, there are only 2 students here. And how many you are here? Okay, including me, there are only 14. I don't know why many people miss the lecture. Okay, so let us see our schedule. So according to our schedule, today is February 25th, right? So we are on week 7. So okay, we are discussing GUI programming. Actually, I covered the last content of GUI programming. Let me see. GUI event. What is the last module 4 to 2. Okay, actually I discussed GUI events in our previous week. Okay, so actually GUI programming is mainly for your lab. So in your lab you will develop maybe some sample application, GUI application, maybe a sample calculator or something similar to that. Okay, so just okay, so but if you can develop a something better, you can add that in your profile. So when you go for job interview or internship interview, you can show that. Okay, so I think I discussed this JavaFX and Windows Form. Actually, I could repeat the JavaFX program, but I don't have Microsoft. No, I don't have Microsoft. This is Visual Studio. I think it's not all working. Okay, so that means today I think let us discuss something else. Okay, maybe 2 things. So let us see our schedule. So according to our schedule, actually I want to discuss something ahead of recursion and function stack, so that if I can finish recursion and function stack and recursion before our spring break, then I will get some time. Actually the 8-12, you see the test 2. So we have only 1 lecture over here. That will be difficult to discuss thread and multi-threading programming and parallel programming in 1 lecture. Oh, sorry. So I think if I can save some time, adjust some time, so that one lecture or 2 lectures, then if I can complete module 5 before we go to our spring break, that will be better. Okay, but how was your test 1? Huh? Kind of hard. So how was timing? Timing was good?
Yeah, I have enough time.
Timing was good, right?
Yes.
Okay. 15 or 21 minutes. Okay, give us some feedback in the first year experience space, so that the team. Yeah, so then we will consider minor mistakes. We want to see, actually, personally, when I grade, I want to see that you use abstract keyword for declaring an abstract class. You don't forget that, right? So if you declare an abstract method, you use abstract and you do not have anybody. Okay, if you have anybody, then that means for an abstract method, that means you do not understand, right? Those are the main concept I specially check. And the other concept, whatever you write print or println or you did mistake system or system, and I don't care. Okay. So let us see. I'm not sure that which question I will be grading, or I will. We have other team members. They will decide. Okay, and okay. So since I was looking for some extra time, so I think today will be a good time to discuss. How many of you know GitHub? How many of you have GitHub account? Do you have? Have you heard this name?
I have an account, but I don't know how to use it.
Okay. How about you? You didn't hear that? You have not heard this about GitHub? Okay. So I think, what do we need to do? We need to, instead of working hard, we should working smart, right? Hard also smart, right? Smart way. So if you can work smart way, that will be maybe compensation for hard way, working hard way, and that will be more efficient. So how many of you use virtual drive like Google Drive, OneDrive, like Dropbox, or we have OneDrive here, right? Do you use Google Drive? Do you see any advantage of using Google Drive or Dropbox or OneDrive? Are there any advantages? Yes. Yes. So about 20 years ago, I used to carry floppy drive. 50, 20, 30 years ago, 25 years ago, I used to carry floppy drive where I save my program. Okay, if you know any senior professor over here who are 70, 80, 70-year-old, they would tell you that they used to carry a large backpack with a punch card when they did programming. Okay, punch card. Okay, and then 20 years ago, people used CD drive. We use CD drive, then flash drive, no, floppy drive, and then later we use flash drive. Still, some people use flash drive, pen drive or flash drive. Okay, but nowadays, even if you give me a flash drive, I will not use it. I don't need it. Okay, flash drive is easy, right? It's easy in one sense that we can carry it like a finger. You can put a lot of cover here, right? But I feel insecure if I put my stuff over there. If I lose that, someone will get it, right? Someone will get my stuff. I may have personal information there. Rather, I use personal Google Drive, Dropbox, and then you see the university has, what is that called? University has OneDrive. Maybe you have 5 GB space, OneDrive, right? Is 5 GB or terabyte? No, maybe terabyte.
It's a terabyte.
Maybe terabyte, 5 terabyte. It counts up 1024 gigabyte equal to 1 terabyte. So that means if you get it one drive, you can maybe face your whole life activities, video activities of your whole life. You can save there. Okay, so all companies use like virtual drive, virtual repository where they save their project or program. No company will allow you to use any floppy drive or any flash drive or CD drive for security reason. Okay, no company will allow you to use those. Okay, so instead they use like GitHub is one of GitHub, GitLab. There's some online repositories. There are many advantages of using this this is flash drive kind of drive. You are saving your program, okay, but there are some extra advantages that like GitHub, it saves all of your changes and it keeps history of your changes. So whenever you work in a team, other team member will be able to see what changes you did. If you did any mistake, they can go back. You can go back to previous version with a single command within a few seconds. Okay, but in MS Word, in normal drive, if you save a file and if you need to get updated version, you may save the file in different name, right? Sometimes different file in different name. But in GitHub, you don't need to change the file name, just one file name. Under all name, it will keep all of the histories, change history, and you can go back and at any time. So I used to pay $7 or $8 per month using GitHub. So GitHub for saving my personal files as what is that called, private repository. You see that if anyone goes to my GitHub account, I have 2 or 3 GitHub accounts. So this one is for my teaching purpose. So you see that I have 176 repositories. Okay, so I'm logged in, so I see all of my repositories. You see that some are private, some are private. So other people will not be able to see. Other people will not be able to see my private stuffs. So I used to pay some money, $7 per month for keeping my stuffs private. Now it is free. Since the last 3 years, GitHub is free. It allows to share private project with 3 collaborators. So now I take that advantages. So I put all of my resources. You see, this is private. No one will be able to see, but I can see. So if I go for a job interview, if some people will ask, can I ask about my programming practice? Okay, I just will give them my GitHub account. So if I just give them my GitHub account, so people will be able to see, smart people will be able to see how much practice I do, how much programming skill I do have. For instance, if they go here, so they see that I have 92 projects. These 92 are private, public. So but over here, when I logged in, I see the 176. The remaining are public, private. But these 92 projects are public. Anybody can see this. You see that? So some project, not only these, you see that some project. So you see, for instance, this one. You see this one. So you see that you see this one, blue line. So the blue line is straight, right? But sometimes it has like a bump over here. The bump shows that at that time I did some changes. I worked on this project at that time. So by looking this project, people can see that at this time I worked on this project, and for a long time I don't work on it. Okay, so at a glance, people say that I worked on it. Okay, I worked on it at that time. So you see that not only looking my project, and then they can see that how much I do practice, right? So if you go for a job interview or internship interview, then please start using GitHub. It's easy. Pretty like using how to use a Google Drive or OneDrive, but for using Google Drive or OneDrive, you need to some extra features, right? You need to download Google Drive or OneDrive. But GitHub, you need to create an account in GitHub. Creating an account on GitHub is very simple. Go to github.com and then use your email address and create an account. It's free. And then save all your file, your project, especially your project, what you do in as your class project, so that you can build up your own repository, own profile, and when you go for an interview, you show them, just you will send them your GitHub account. If I interview some people, if I get their GitHub account, I will be able to gauge their performance 70% accurately without asking any question. You know? And then whenever we have some project in GitHub, so then people, whenever some project, is easy to clone. We say clone or copy someone projects. So my request, everybody, please, okay, create an account on GitHub. This will be a good time, and keep practicing using GitHub. So it's not a difficult thing. Really, so for instance, nowadays I told you that if someone gives me a flash drive, I will not use it. I don't need it because I have my OneDrive account, I have my Google Drive account, I have my Dropbox account. I don't need that. So if I get better performance with this. Yeah, someone was asking me a question. And as long as I have internet connection, I can go to any computer and I can download any project. I can share my project with anyone else.
I have a question.
Yes.
So do you upload things from IntelliJ or Eclipse to your GitHub and then you just have it saved there? Or like what do you upload there?
Okay, one thing is that I'm answering question. Okay, so on Google Drive or OneDrive, you can save individual file, but on GitHub, you can save it entire project. Your entire project you can save it. Okay, so I usually so there are some Git commands. Okay, so like that, if you know about 20 Git commands, like Git command sheet. So it's a Git cheat sheet. So you see that how many command over here? 20. Okay, so if you practice using these 20 commands, then you will be able to start using GitHub. Okay, I know command, basic command, so I use my terminal to upload my stuffs directly. If we know command, we can do you can upload directly from IntelliJ or Eclipse. If you download plugin, okay, that will automatically upload, but that may create any conflict, but I know some commands. So you see that these are the GitHub command, Git commands. All Git commands start with Git. So when I do something, you see that I worked on this file sometime, and I do the last 3-4 commands: Git add, and then Git commit, and then Git push origin master. 3 commands. In a few seconds, I can send my uploaded file in GitHub. So now if I go to my GitHub, you see that this one, you see 22 seconds ago I added this, and if I go here, I can see what changes I made. I can see what file I added. You see that this file I added this file, and I made some changes over here. Give me a second. So I would like you to refer to you. I have in my, if you visit my YouTube channel, give me 1 second, please. If you visit my YouTube channel, oh, sorry, I logged in as a guest. Okay, I connected the. Is not coming up? Okay. What is the reason that I can not go to GitHub? Okay, I can come from here. So what is your question? Huh? Sorry? D2L has GitHub? Git Bucket? Okay, I don't use that one. I use directly in this one. You may use that one, but I want to refer you some. You see, if you go to my YouTube channel, so in search for Git. Okay, so it's a Git and Git related videos. So you see that there are only 10 videos. If you watch these 10 videos, okay, then you will be able to install GitHub, install Git in your account, create a GitHub account, and then you will know the basic commands how to handle GitHub. So I like you to send you this. Spend 2-3 hours, okay? I think if you spend 3 hours, everybody is smart here. If you spend 2 hours, then you will be able to start it. Okay, so I think after the test, this will be a good time. So please, this weekend, spend some time, okay? And as I told you that my goal is not only teach this content to prepare you for job interview. This will be an advanced stuff. Ultimately, you will learn it. Ultimately, in future, I'll be teaching advanced software engineering course. So if I teach some software engineering or project-based course, I will allow my student to submit that project only in GitHub or Git Bucket. So 2 things that they will be used to using GitHub, and then it will be more authenticated, and then everything is tracked. So for instance, if you go to like the GitHub account, you see that for instance this project. See what is that? You see that 42 commits. See over here, 42 commits means I have changes 42 times. I have saved my changes 42 times. So in see that this one, if I click 42 commits on this button over here, I can see whenever I made the commit last commit on September 24, 2020. And if I go down, you see the older commits. I can see that the first commit I created August 20 to 2018. So if I want to go back to this version, the initial version, I can go that. You see that every commit has a The number is commit number. You see that this number. By using this commit number, we can go back to that position, that level, that version. This is how in companies people keep track. So at this point, at this time, many people, almost everybody is working from home, right? So how do your manager will keep track what are you working, whether you are working or not? Okay, so manager just will go see your commit and sees the commit, click on the commit, and you will see that this green means that are newly added, green codes. Okay, and you see that somehow think that this green line is added, newly added. Okay, and this green line is added, and if you say something red, that means that is deleted. Is there any red over here? There's no red over here. Okay, the red line, you see that? So that means that was the previous line, in previous version, but that line was deleted. So if single change, it saves. So that other team member can see that whether you did something or not, right? And if you did some mistake, people do always some mistake while coding. Sometimes we need to go back to previous version. It is the way. Okay, so my request to everybody, please spend some time to watch this video. So by watching this video, you will get basic idea how to use GitHub. Okay, and then when you get basic idea, you need extra help to Google search. There are tons of resources, online video, and then you can ask this, and then you can get help. So some student come to, so whoever I do research with, like what is that called? Honors project. Some student, I have some honors project student. I always give them GitHub project. Their project to set, ask their project, them to set their project in GitHub. Okay. Has anyone any question? So there only one video is 20 minutes and 30 minutes, one video, but if you practice this, then you will be good to start. Has anyone any question? Okay, so if we don't have question, let us spend a few more minutes, and then tonight I want to, let us see functions track module 5. We can start. Because GUI programming, whatever you will do in your lab. Okay, I gave you some idea. Okay. Okay, have you heard the word stack? What do you, in English, what do you mean by stack?
Like a pile or something like that?
Yeah, it's a pile, right? Okay, that's good. So stack means like this kind of pile. For a stack, okay, one side is blocked and it has only one side open. So in is coming this way and out is also coming this way, going this way. Okay, so whenever we wash our plates at home, right, on the sink, we wash the first plate, we put first, right, and the second plate we put on top, usually, right? Okay, and then by this way we create a stack of plates. We create a stack of plate. The last plate we wash or clean, put on the top, right? And whenever we need to use a plate, we get the top one, right? Usually we can get the last one, but we do not do that, right? Unless the first one is dirty or something. So this is stack in general, a pile. Okay, so the two concepts that a stack is a pile in programming languages. We can create a stack as a data structure. So after a few modules at the end of this course, the third quarter of this course, you will learn how to create a stack and how to do stack operation. Okay, but computer, in another sense, computer memory stack is kind of computer memory also. That is more frequently used, and that memory also is memory location. That is computer memory location. So we have RAM, right? RAM, random access memory. We say memory by RAM. So RAM has a portion dedicated, operating system has dedicated a portion of the RAM that is called a stack. Is in a faster memory space. Okay. Like when you go to store, a grocery store or something, the grocery stores manager, they put the most frequently selling item on the front, right? On the front desk. Okay, and then whenever they are running out, they bring more items and put over there from their storage. Okay, similarly in operating system, there is a dedicated memory space that is called stack. Mainly stack is used for multiple purposes. For some purposes where we need fast access of something, or we need to keep something for temporary, or hold something, save something for temporary use. Okay, for instance, everybody at this point knows how to we call a function, we create a function, a method, right? We have a method and we have another method. So method 2, whenever we call this method 2 inside method 1, right? So at this point here, what happens? It is executing these lines. After executing this line, we call this method 2. Then what happens? It goes to method 2, and then main method 2, it executes this statement. After executing this statement, it should come back to here, right? This statement, right? Otherwise, we will lose track. So whenever if this function, a function is calling another function, so whenever it's switching, it switches its track or control. Before it goes to jump to another section, it keeps track of this current location. Okay, and whenever it gets back, then it gets the current location from the stack. So this way we know that we have main method, and main method we call method 2, and in method 2 it executes, and then it calls method 1, and method 1 it calls method 2 again, right? So and this way it programs execute. Okay, so how does this happens internally? We do not realize actually. It happens internally. In compiler happens, and operating system collaboratively makes this happen. We do not realize, but we want to, if we want to understand how this works, so let us see that these pictures. Okay, mainly it has 3 things. So that this is the stack. Okay, one side is blocked, only there is one side open. All input and output operation happen on the top. Okay, for instance, we are in in the in stack in the main method. We're in main method. So what main method does when calling main method? Okay, so it has like this. It saves method 2, like method 1 and method 3. There are 3 items. Okay, 1 to 3 items in the stack. So when method 2 is being executed at the beginning, right? So what happens? So method 2 is here, for instance. I think you can go with these slides. So method 2 has its print operation, right? So this is the print of method 2. Okay. And so whenever it executes this statement, so it will execute this statement. Method 2 was called. It will be executed, right? Then what do we need to do? After it's calling method 2, we need to go back to where? We need to go back to here, right? To the caller method, main method, right? Okay. The stack does that. How does it do? As soon as a statement is executed, this method, this statement is removed from the stack. It is done. For instance, if in the shelf of a store, if there is an item for sale, right? If it is sold, then that item is gone, right? No longer exists. So whenever this statement executed, is gone. It's no longer exist. So then what we have on the top? So we have top. Previously, it was here main method 2. It executed already. We saw that, right? So then what is the next? It will come to this one. So method 1. Okay. And method 1 is here. So method 1, whenever it comes method 1 on the stack, it will pull up all of its statements, put one by one. Okay. So here, so method 2 has print method. So method 1 has print, method 2, and then print. So these are 3 statements. The first print will be executed, and then in the next, this one will be gone. As soon as it is executed, that one will be gone. Okay, the second one, it will call method 2, right? So the method 2 will be added on the stack again. Okay, and method 2 has a print statement. So this is that print statement. So that print statement will be executed. Method 2 executed, and then what will happen? And once it is executed, this will be gone. Okay, and then wherever we come back to the original method 1. We are here, method 2 position, right? But it has executed already. So once it is executed, this will come to this last statement. Okay, and so once the last statement is executed, then this stack, method 1 stack, will be empty. Everything is completed, right? So then after that, what will happen? It will come back to the third item in the main method, this one. And then when it was completed, it is completed, it will print the finish. And when it is finished, then all are completed, right? These one are already completed, this one completed, and this one completed. So almost, actually, these will be removed from the stack. Okay, so the stack will be empty, and then program is done. Stack means whatever file or task we have in hand. So I have nothing to do, right? It says nothing to do, right? The stack says nothing to do. The stack is empty. I have nothing to do, and that's it. So the here the stack, the maximum, at the maximum point, how many methods it will hold? 3 methods maximum, right? We have 3 methods: a main method, method 2 and method 1. The maximum position it will hold 3 methods. And this way, these activities are executed internally, behind the scene. Okay, we do not see that, we do not realize that. Okay. Okay. Now the question is that why do we need to learn this? Okay. Maybe our next lecture we will discuss recursion. Okay, recursion is a process that a method calls itself. Okay, a method calls itself. When a method calls itself, that is called a recursive method, and the process is called recursion. Okay, so everybody here knows factorial, right? Factorial, how to find factorial of a number? You understand, right? Factorial of a number. For instance, 5 factorial. 5 factorial equal to 5 times 4 times what? 3 times 2 times 1, right? You hear the factorial in high school? Did you not hear that? Did you hear factorial? Okay. Factorial of a number is the multiplication of the number from 1 to that numbers. That number. Factorial 6 equal to multiplication from 1 to 6. Okay. So, but in reverse order we can write it 6 times 5. Actually, factorial 6 equal to 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6. 1 to 6 multiplication. Then we reverse order, we can write something, right? 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, right? So then here we see that what is this one? This is also factorial 5, right? And what is this one? This one also factorial 4. And what is this one? Factorial of 3. And what is this one? Factorial 2. And what is this one? It is factorial 1. Factorial 1 equal to 1. Okay, also factorial 0 equal to 1. So that means we can say factorial 6 equal to 6 times factorial 5. We can say that, right? And also we can say that 5 times factorial 4. That means a factorial process calls itself, right? So in order to execute to develop a method to do for factorial, we can do naive way, multiply the number 1 plus 2 using regular for loop, but we will not do that. That is not efficient way, because we learned that a few minutes ago. Stack is a faster memory location. It's easy to access for computer operating system in program. Okay, so instead, for finding factorial, instead of using for loop, regular for loop, we will use another smart way. We call that the recursion method. For instance, in order to find factorial of 75, we don't need to multiply 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times up to 75. We don't need to multiply that. Better we can do, we can see factorial 75 equal to 75 times factorial 4, right? And what is the next one will be 70 times prime factorial. So if I find factorial of 74, I could plug in that value here and I will get the factorial 75 value, right? So by this way, what happens, you see that we will be calling something, and then at that point sometime we need to stop. So where should we stop? We should stop at a base case. We call base case. For the for loop, we say the for int I equal to 1. right? The 1 is the base case, the starting point. Okay, and base case here for recursive method is the ending point. Okay, and initially we know that in general factorial of a number equal to n times factorial of n minus 1. Okay, and we have two things, factorial of, we need two more things, factorial of 1. Okay, 1 factorial equal to 1. Okay, can anyone please tell me what is the factorial of 0? Factorial 0 equal to
1.
Okay, that's good. Factorial 0 equal to 1. And there is no factorial of negative numbers. Okay. So either this one is the base or this one is the base. Okay, this is a quiz question. Okay. What is factorial? So is factorial 0 equal to factorial 1? Are those two values same? Yes, right? Factorial 0 equal to 1 and factorial 1 equal to 1. So this value equal to factorial. So if I say, now if I say, what is this? If I say factorial 1 equal to 0 factorial. So in a programming expression, if I write this, what will be my resultant output? Huh? Yes, it is true, right? Because we will checking, it will find factorial 0, factorial 1. We'll be checking whether this number, two numbers are equal. Okay. So this is interview questions or quiz question. Okay. And then the process that we call this process, that means while we are finding factorial of a number, we call factorial of another number, the next number or previous number, you can say. The process is called recursion. Whenever a method or something calls itself, it's called recursion. Okay. And so recursion needs few, I will go through this one. Few requirements. It should have a recursive call, terminating point, and progress toward termination, toward the end. So these are the requirements. Actually, so for your quiz, these are the requirements for recursion. Okay. So, okay, we have here. It's very simple code. How do we find factorial of a number? An integer number. We call base if n equal to 1, then return 1, right? Why do we return 1? Because factorial of 1 equal to 1. Otherwise, it calls itself. It returns n times factorial of n minus 1. Because we wrote this one, the formula is here. Factorial of n equal to n times n minus 1. Right? This is the formula to find factorial of a number. We got it a minute ago. Or here. Okay. So you see that this method will use stack. So this function, it is calling itself. And how long it will call? As long as, so n is started from, n value started from, for instance, 5, right? Then it is decreasing. Every time it is calling itself, it is decreasing. Then at this point, n value will be 1. And when the n value equal to 1, then it will return 1. So then where that 1 will go? Okay, that 1 will go to the stack. You see that whenever main method call factorial 4, Then factorial 4 will call factorial 3. So here, if we go trace this code, okay, then it will call factorial 3. Factorial 3 again call factorial 2. And factorial 2 will call again factorial 1. And what is now the factorial 1 equal to 1, right? So then it will now go back. Now it will go back. Go back. Factorial 1 return 1, and then you see that it will go backward. So then 1 will be placed over here. So it was returning what? So factorial of 1 equal to 1. So then it will return 1 over here. So then 2 times 1, 2. So these 2 will be placed over here. So these 2 will be placed over here. So then we got 6. This 6 will be placed here. This 6 will be placed over here. And then we got 4 times 20, 24. This 24 will be here. So this 24 will be here. So then ultimately it is returning factorial 4 equal to 24. Although you see there are many slides, 64 slides. I have gone 64 slides, most of them in a minute, right? Because these are the process that I already discussed. Okay, so in your next lecture I will discuss this. Okay, like power function, and you had Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series. Have you heard the Fibonacci series? The word Fibonacci series is a series that the third number is the sum of the previous 2 numbers. Some people say that Fibonacci series. B-O-N-A-C-I. Fibonacci series. Some people say start from 0, some people say start 1. The second number is 1, third number is 1 plus 1, 2, and the fourth number is 2 plus 1 plus 2, 3, and the next number is 2 plus 3, 5, and the next number is 3 plus 5, 8, next number is 5 plus 8, 11, 30, right? 30, and the next number is 30 plus 8, 21, and so on. So finding Fibonacci series is another example of using recursive method. Okay, I just give you hints today. So in our next lecture we will discuss this. Okay, don't worry. So but if you get some time, please download this slide, and you see that I have complete program here. This is my program, this complete program over here, and then we will see that in our next lecture we will discuss, especially the last one. Okay, last program you practice. Okay, when we will in our next lecture we will discuss this. Don't worry, I won't throw fast because this is an interesting thing, and for many purposes, for many algorithms like merge sort algorithm, but for many algorithms we will use recursive method, and it will be a valuable thing to understand and learn. Okay, we will discuss this in our next lecture again. So has anyone any question? People from online, has anyone any question?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. So please download this slide and have a look, and then in our next lecture I will discuss this again. Okay, thank you so much.